Boom, boom. This is Ken here, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got another Azur Lane ship review for you today. So we're going to take a look at, in my mind, one of the hidden gems, I would like to say, in the game. And that is the USS Saratoga CV-3. Saratoga is a very, very interesting ship inside the game. And I'll explain why once I go into our explanation. But let me give you a quick rundown on her backstory. Okay, now, as you know, Saratoga, she was one of the few aircraft carriers to actually survive World War II, along with Enterprise and Ranger. The others were sunk. You know, Lexington was sunk into Midway, and then we lost a few other a few other characters throughout the war. But she did survive, and she was retrofitted actually around 1942, and we're going to go over her retrofit in the game. This is her retrofitted right here, that you see on the screen. As you can see, she's a cutie pie, but she's an excellent ship, and you should definitely fully limit break her and also get the retrofit. Okay, so let's get on with her. So USS Saratoga CV-3, she was a Lexington class aircraft carrier, and she was built for the United States Navy during the 1920s. So she was built about 20 years before the war actually started. Now, when she was originally built, she was designed as a battle cruiser. Okay, so she was not designed as an aircraft carrier. And then she was converted to our first aircraft carrier during the construction to comply with the Washington Naval Treaty of 1922. Remember that you had to limit ship size in certain types of models and whatnot. So she was converted into one of the first aircraft carriers that we had. Okay, she entered service as an aircraft carrier in 1928, and she was assigned to the Pacific Fleet for her entire career. So basically, Saratoga and Lexington, they were basically used to, since they were the first carriers, there was still a learning curve on how to actually apply characters into future naval engagements, what their position was going to be. I think one of the things that really helped the United States was the fact that they realized, I think probably around the same time that Japan realized that the future of naval supremacy was going to be based not only water but via the air, because that's the easiest way to take out ships was via aircraft. And a projection of power, since aircraft carriers were the way to go. And in World War II has shown that was an extremely important part, especially the war against the United States and Japan. Until Midway, that could have gone either way. If the United States had not sunk the Akita Butai at Midway, I got a feeling that things could have been very, very, very different. That was definitely the turning point of the war. Okay, so basically Saratoga and Lexington spent a lot of time doing surprise attacks, training missions, and developing and refining aircraft carrier tactics by running fake attacks and practice attacks on Pearl Harbor. So, which makes you wonder why the surprise attack by Japan did so much damage, but considering that they'd been served at that. But yeah, so that's what they spent a lot of time doing. Okay, so shortly after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Saratoga was a centerpiece of, she actually was set up to relieve Wake Island. As you know, that failed. They never made it because she was torpedoed by a Japanese sub, and so she had to return for repairs. And then she participated in the Guadalcanal campaign, and this is her aircraft is the one who sank the light carrier Ujo during the Battle of Eastern Solomons. So she had some good did a good job there. But of course, then again, in August of 1942, she was torpedoed again, and she was returned to the Solomon Islands for repairs. Okay, so so after she got out of repairs in 1943. She supported Allied forces in the New Georgia campaign and the invasion of Bougainville in the northern Solomon Islands. So she was in different places. She was doing other stuff, while Enterprise was doing stuff. So they, they didn't have that many aircraft carriers at the time. But her aircraft were the aircraft that attacked the Japanese base at Rabaul in November. Okay, and she supplied air support for the Gilbert and Marshall Islands campaign. So she was very, very active. Okay, and then she was transferred to the Indian Ocean for a few months to support the British as they attacked targets in Java and Sumatra. At that time, at that time, aircraft carriers were very, between the Allied forces, were very, very scarce. We actually had to borrow Victorious from HMS Victorious from the Brit, and then now we're given the British, to use assist the Britain. So there was a lot of give and take there. Wherever some a battle required air supremacy, so we were swapping aircraft carriers around, assisting each other as we were allies. And then then in mid 1942, she was retrofitted. And as I said about that, we're going to talk about that. And then after that, she became, in 1945, she participated in the Battle of Iwo Jima as a dedicated night fighter carrier. Basically, what they do is they adapt the fighter aircraft to use night vision and bomb other ships at night. It's at the time, radar was not like it was now. It was you needed to really practice at it a lot to actually make hits. So it was a very, very tricky situation. So they used her for that in Iwo Jima as a night fighter carrier. So, and then several days into the battle, she was of course badly damaged by a kamikaze and was forced to return to the U.S. for repairs. And she never, after the repair, she was pretty much obsolete. Like I say, she was created in the 1920s. So there really wasn't, we were starting to crank out new aircraft carriers and whatnot. So they permanently modified her to a training carrier. And they used her converted her hangar deck into some classrooms and things like that. They used her for various things. She remained in the role for the rest of the war, and she was used a lot to ferry troops back to the United States after Japanese surrender to Japan. We had a lot of troops over there, so we needed to bring them back. And then actually in mid-1946, the ship was a target for nuclear weapons tests during Operation Crossroads. So she was. If you see all those pictures where there's the nuclear bombs exploding, and you see all these ships sitting in the water around it. Well, she was one of those ships that was sitting in that water. Now she survived the first. She survived the first test with little damage, but the second test, more powerful bomb, and she ended up sinking. So that was last. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, she did survive the war. So CV-3, the USS Saratoga. So that's her battle history, and it's very interesting. So let's jump back here to the game. All right. So now, when I was talking about Saratoga before, and why I think Saratoga is such an important ship, is because of the two words come to mind. And that is free damage, okay? Because that's what she is, and that's what makes her so important, and so a good ship to bring all the way to 120, and definitely get that retrofit, because in retrofit she gets Witch's Prank, which is a skill we're going to talk about here. So if you take a look at her stats, you can see that she's extremely tanky. She has more health than Enterprise, which is interesting, considering she's actually classified as a what you might consider sort of like a light aircraft carrier in terms of an actual ship type. So she's pretty tanky. 7,122. So that makes her extremely easy. She's got pretty good aviation. Excellent anti-air. It's not quite as high as you want to ship from other ships. Evasion's pretty standard. And reload is a little bit higher than normal. So her stats, except for her health and her aviation of 442 here, which is damage. That's so pretty much she's similar to Lexington in her stats, but this is her retrofitted stats. So normally she only's going to have 6,116 uh, health, but she gets a lot of health when you get her to 120. She gets 796 when you get her to 120, and 41 of that aviation comes when you get to 120. So you definitely want to bring her to 120, as that makes her even more tanky. Okay, so in terms of one of the things about that, you'll notice that she has an extremely high dive bomber efficiency, but her fighter efficiency is a little bit low by about 5%, but that gets fixed in the retrofit. Then you always want to put a steam catapult on a carrier because that makes them launch planes airstrikes faster. Okay, so as you can see in her limit break, she gets dive bombers +1, +7% to her efficiency on dive bombers. That's tier 3 holder. Yeah, I was going to say about it. Dive bombers +3, hangar capacity, all dive bombers plus fighter efficiency +5. Okay, and then dive bomber efficiency +7. So you can see the retrofit or the limit breaking increases the dive bomber efficiency. So she does serious damage with dive bombers. Okay, so the retrofit is like all retrofits. It's a very good one to get. It's a must. It increases all factions of her stats and gives her a skill called Witch's Prank on the final. So as you can see, I have her fully retrofitted. So let's pop back here and get back into Saratoga. So let's take a look at her skills, all right? Now, artillery cover here, every 10 seconds provides covering fire with main guns. See, right there, guns. Look at this. Look at her gear. Okay, there is no gun on here. Okay, so you're getting free damage. You do not have to take up a slot on your gear, and you're getting gun damage from a main gun, and this gun fires the whole time she's engaged. So she's basically free damage on this skill. Okay, so provides covering fire damage based on the skill's level. Okay, so you've got a non-existent gun that does amazing damage when you rank this level at level 10. You will be amazed at how much damage this does, and that damage is not arrested anywhere on here because gun damage comes from firepower. Okay, so that's why we get to think of free damage. Okay, it's free invisible damage. Okay, so a lot of it is computed in the aviation, but the aviation is mainly for the planes. Firepower comes from the guns, so she's free damage. Okay, that's one of the reasons she's even a light character, but that's what makes her one of the best ships in the game. Her second skill is fleet carrier. Now, a number of carriers have this skill, so this is not a new skill in itself. So when a ship launches an airstrike, increases the damage of your vanguard by 15% for 8 seconds. Okay, so that's good. Okay, another carrier that has this is Lexington has this, and I think Long Island has this as well. But what you got to remember is this does not stack. So putting Saratoga and Lexington together would not be advisable, even though they're similar in stats. Saratoga is much better because she has a retrofit. Lexington doesn't, and the buff would cancel each other out. So I don't use Lexington. I've used Saratoga because of the retrofit. Okay, and then this is Witch's Prank. Now she gets this only after the retrofit. Okay, when this ship launches an airstrike, 70% chance to launch an additional special airstrike, and the airstrike inflicts flooding and burn damage over time to enemies hit. So more free damage, and this damage is based on the aviation stat, which, as you can see, is huge. She's damage. Okay, and that's what makes her so good, is the fact that you're getting all this damage, and you'd be amazed at how much damage she can really sell out for being a light carrier, and that's one of the things that's good. And you combine this with the other skill set, and that's what makes her such a very good ship. She is in my in-game fleet. Okay, my in-game fleet is, as I've showed it to you a few times, so I'll show it to you again here. This is my in-game fleet that I'm using right now. And you've got Saratoga, Monarch, Centaur, another light carrier that has amazing skills. She's actually a little bit better than Saratoga, but just by a smidget. And that's purely because of her skills. And I'll be doing a review on Centaur pretty soon. And then we've got Nishiro. And then we've got, of course, Bremerton. I like Bremerton, and I'm going to explain why when I do her ship review. And then we've got San Diego, of course, the Idol. So as you can see, this is my main fleet. This fleet has run through in-game levels right now, and it's not having any trouble whatsoever. Okay, so if you would like to do something similar along this fleet, I can guarantee you that it will work. And as long as you make sure that you got San Diego's anti-air maxed out, you won't have any trouble with 12 and 13. Story mode 12 and 13, which is where aircraft becomes prevalent. And air superiority is very, very, very important, because those fighters will just annihilate you, because it comes constantly. So that's what we got. So so that's what we use. So that's the Witcher skin. Now what she gets from her retrofit, she gets 210 hit points, plus 20 to her reload, making her reload faster, plus 50 to anti-air, a plus 45 to aviation, and then she gets a plus 10 dive bomber efficiency and a plus 5 fighter efficiency, plus the skill Witcher's rank. So as you can see, this retrofit makes her more damage, gives her more health, and gives her the new skill, and increases the efficiency on her aircraft, which is more damage. So as you can see, she is a must. She is seriously a must. Also, if you're going to equip, the best plane in the game right now is the Sea Fury and the Sea Hornets are both very, very good ships. You can only get those in the actual core shop, so you want to look at them. I've got a Comet on her, which is unusual, but at the time that was what I was using, and I've got a Fairy Firefly here, which does excellent damage as well too, because they drop 4 cannon and then the 2001 bombs. So she's got, you could put just about any ships that you want on her. If you wanted to change, you could put anything. You know, just about anything will work with her. Sea Fang is also a very, very good ship, or a very good plane as well. I'm actually going to be putting one of these on Saratoga once I get another one, but you have to get them in the shop as well too, and I don't have enough core to get it right now. So I got some torp sticks for some subs, so I didn't have it left over. So anyway, so that's what, but yeah, this guy's a great ship. Wrong scale. Great ship, and you should definitely work on getting her retrofitted and set up. So as for skins, we've got a couple of skins. This right here is what she looks like after you retrofit her. Okay, when you first get her, she's going to look like this. Okay, I have the hibiscus scented skin on her, which we got in an event several events back, just because I think it's an extremely cute. It's a little cute dress with a nice little butterflies around. I just thought it was really nice. So that's the one. That's the one I've been using. But you know, either way, they look pretty good. But yeah, she's an excellent ship, and I would strongly suggest getting her. And she's not a build ship. You can get her in the game, just plain regular. I forget exactly what level it is that she's on, but you can you can do search and that and just farm her, get her and program, you know, max her out, get her to 120 awakened, and definitely get the retrofit afterwards, because I think you're a great ship to use in your backfield. She just, you know, she's considered a support carrier, but she just has so much damage that it's amazing. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching the video, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Remember to click on, after you subscribe, if you'll see a little bell. If you click on that bell, you will be notified whenever I drop a video. All right, so thanks a lot for watching again, and this is Kendrick coming at you from the corner, signing out.